Welcome, everybody, to the Go Political Podcast. This is Carlton Flowers, and I've got a controversial show for you today. We're going to talk about the EBT program coming to an end on November 1st. We're going to discuss the SNAP program being the most frauded federal system in the United States of America. And then we're going to go back to Chicago and talk about the trap house, where black residents are still standing up for gangbangers and pushing stories that don't exist. And I've got a couple of contrasting messages that you are going to want to see. Last but certainly not least, we're going to show you a video clip that I'm going to be covering later on. This one is from the Chicago Flips Red. You're not going to believe this. It's going to be a contrast that you're going to really say, that is wrong. And it's going to show you the difference between how black people are treated in Chicago versus illegal aliens, which is an offensive racist term, according to Mayor Brandon the Jackass Johnson. Okay, so let's just jump into the news and get this started. We're just going to cover a few things and have a good time talking today on this podcast edition. So here we are on this breaking news. So we have right here the headline that just disappeared. All right, where did it go? Get out of there. Let's move back to the story. This is what happens when you're trying to just do stuff on the cuff. SNAP benefits won't go out on November 1st. The well has run dry, says the USDA. So let's check out what they have to say. A few details here. The 42 million Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that's SNAP. I think they came up with that name during the Obama administration. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to go without their benefits on November the 1st because of the government shutdown. Okay? So this is a message coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. SNAP, also known as food stamps. That was the old name, and they wanted to get rid of that because food stamps, it became had a negative connotation, and there's no food stamps. It got away from the actual little stamps that you would trade in. They looked like money, and now it's just a debit card. In recent weeks, the USDA, which oversees the program, warned that SNAP money for November could be in jeopardy if the shutdown continues, which it will. But in a prominent new message on its website as of October the 27th, the USDA said no benefits will be issued on November 1st. What a tragedy. Now, should we really be feeling bad, feeling sorry for people? Well, the majority of them no, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why, guys. The SNAP program is the most defrauded federal program in the United States, probably in history. All my life, I have witnessed it with my own eyes, okay? I got married in 1990, and me and my wife started off pretty quickly, had our first two kids in 91 and 93. And we were struggling. I had my engineering degree. My wife had her degree in food nutrition, but she was staying home to take care of the kids for the first several years before she went back to get a degree in teaching and became a teacher. And we noticed that we go to the grocery store, and while we would have the little mini cart, or just using the little baskets that you carry, the people who were on SNAP, on food stamps, they had their carts piled high. Now, back in the early 90s, the people on SNAP would come up to us and say, hey, you want to buy some of my food stamps? I can give you $100 worth for $50. And while that was tempting, I never wanted to get involved in it, so we just say no, thank you. And we didn't want to break the law because that's illegal. And so our thoughts were, number one, why are you breaking the law selling them, and why are they giving it to you? And then number two, why are they giving you so much that you can sell it? Because nobody's starving out here if they're selling their dadgum food stamps at the grocery store. And that goes on still to this day. We notice that the people with their little SNAP cards, holy crap, they eat so much garbage junk food, all right? And then, now, this might sound rude, and people are going to get mad at me for this, but I've noticed that a lot of the people that are pulling out those SNAP cards are obese. Now, I'm going to back that up with fact. We are in the midst of an obesity epidemic in the United States. also a type 2 diabetes epidemic, and it is really bad in the black community. Black people have a higher rate of instances of developing type 2 diabetes. So while this is going on, you see these people with these SNAP cards loading up their carts with Mountain Dew, with the great big, huge multi-boxes of Cheez-Its, potato chips, cheesy poofs, bonbons, snacky cakes, all kinds of junk food, cereal, which is junk food and stuff that doesn't do anything but blow up your blood sugar and make you fat. Now, it's kind of not fair when here we were starting off with our 2 kids struggling because we made too much money to get the benefit of SNAP, right? We're buying healthy food, trying to raise our kids and feed them right, while the people with the food stamps, oh man, they're fat and happy, loading up with their cheesy poofs and the snacky cakes and their Mountain Dew and Sunny Delight, Sunny D, which you might as well just inject sugar straight into your veins and then to drink that crap. There is a small percentage of people that actually need it and should have it. You know, I've got some friends that have disabilities and they need it and they should have it. And I would even give them money, or I've been known to buy groceries at the store for people who are truly in need. So this is not against those who truly need it. But the majority of the people that are on SNAP, they don't need it. Now, consider this. This is controversial. Everybody's complaining because Thanksgiving is coming up and we're not going to have our SNAP cards for Thanksgiving. They think it's a tragedy. Now, first of all, what makes you think that you're entitled to Thanksgiving? That doesn't make any sense to me. And what do we do on Thanksgiving? We rush to the store, we buy turkeys, we buy stuffing, we buy mashed potatoes and gravy, we buy the macaroni and cheese and all the desserts. We get the apple pies baked, we do the sweet potato pie, ice cream, and all this junk. And then we sit around all day, watch TV, and overeat. And if I can remember from way back when, from since I was a little kid, since I was a very little children, we'd sit up and we would eat so much food that we would be stuffed and in pain. And then we'd have to sit on the couch and watch TV until the pain would subside. So we would all overeat, stuff ourselves. So here we are living in the United States where we think we're entitled to Thanksgiving, a day where we stuff ourselves like fat pigs, fat, greasy pigs, to the point where you're in pain. And that's a right. We have a right to stuff food in our mouths to the point of being in pain, getting obese, gaining weight, eating so much that you end up with type 2 diabetes. We think that's our right. So I'm sorry, I don't have any sympathy for the people who are crying about their SNAP and saying that they're going to raise hell and go to the grocery store and steal if they don't get their SNAP cards. Wow, how about this? Go get a job. Or take the last of your SNAP benefits and buy some healthy food and make it through the, whole month of November until the benefits come back again. And then get off of the freaking SNAP. It's supposed to help you. Most of the people who are on SNAP, it's supposed to bridge the gap until you get a job. It should be for the disabled and the people with chronic degenerative disease conditions and situations. And most of them, they got themselves in that situation on their own by eating the wrong stuff. But there are some people, like I've got a good friend with MS. He is a clean eater. He drinks water. He takes care of himself. He's 50 years old and he's ripped, like shredded. He has to walk with a walker and he has MS, but he's taking care of himself. That's who the benefits should go to, because he's doing his part, not driving up our healthcare costs by eating junk, cheesy poo, snacky cakes, ice cream, and Sunny D, making himself sick. And then we turn around and complain about why healthcare costs is going up. That don't make any daggum sense. All right, well, enough of that. Let's move to the next topic. What's the next topic? Let me look on my list. Okay, now we're going to go on to the Chicago Trap House. All right, so there's the Trap House in Chicago. Do you guys remember the video I did about the place on South Shore Drive that they raided was full of Tren de Aragua? First, let's just jump back to the video. I'll just play a little bit of this so you know what I'm talking about. There's two of me on the screen here. So let's just play a little bit of this and then I'll come back. East 75th Street and South Shore Drive. So let's take a look at what the building looks like. Let's just zip this down here and have a look around. So here's the building right here. That's the apartment building that got raided, where they pulled out, 37 Tren de Aragua gang members who got deported. And so for those of you who don't know it, who are all upset about the ICE raid, this is a trap house, okay? Also known as a crack house. Okay, so that's the trap house right there. Watch the video. I'll put the link. It's the one where I expose the whole story about people thinking that kids were zip-tied naked outside, yanked out of the bathtub, and the black kids were abused. Forget the freaking Tren de Aragua 37 gangbangers that were in there running this place. It's like the Carter from New Jack City, but all we're worried about is this fake story about naked kids pulled out and put in zip ties. Okay, so I feel sorry for the black people that live there under duress, but let's expose something. I've got a comment that I'm going to show you that I never answer because I don't know what to say to this. I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to give you a response. And this is perfect. So anyway, this comes from Auntie7077. Auntie always gives good comments. Well, they're not good, but I do appreciate that Auntie gets into the conversation, and I'm going to try to shed light on things and change Auntie's line of thinking, okay? But here's what Auntie said. I live in Chicago. I have seen how ICE will and does provoke an incident. Then we'll cry it's the protesters' fault. It always is. These attacks are pretty much provoked for them for a reaction. If you were here, you would understand. But you are reading what this administration is stating and printed. What is being printed and stated are lies. I guess we're not supposed to believe the videos of the people who are right there, but we'll keep on. That building in South Shore area, ICE literally tore into early morning hours. Was troubling. ... ICE did remove small underclothed children. Underclothed, new word. And put them on the curb in cold temperatures. The only thing that was incorrectly stated was that ICE were using the zip ties on them. So at least she didn't believe that part. That's good. Good for you, Auntie. That did not happen. Very good. Now, can you imagine just the mere sight of this action? What would that do to you? It's just inhumane to think children, no matter where they are from, are treated this way. Yet it happened. This was no provocation. It was an assault upon these people. Remember that over half were American citizens who just happened to be AA, black Negroes. Whatever. They were held and detained like they were criminals. The cruelty of that one act makes my blood boil, and to think others believed opposite. All right, so it's cruelty, your blood boils, but you're not worried about the facts of the matter. You're not worried about the gangbangers that are in there. You know what? Nobody's even paying rent in that building. This is a condemned building, but your blood boils for the wrong reasons. Okay, so now let's go over to a video that I did. Let's see, I got to jump back. Where is the comment? Okay, here it is. This was on the Gone Rogue video where I talked about how the state police jumped in and started to do the job that Brandon Johnson and the stupid JD Boss Hog Pritzker won't do, all right? And my good man, Brian's Welding, who is always here providing top-notch information, well, he said something to the contrary of Auntie's comment. Now, I'm just going to read this. You know, forget the fact that I showed you videos of people who were right there in Chicago and showed the building and showed what's really going on. Well, she says that we can't say anything unless we're there. Well, Brian was there. Here we go. I live up here. That building is a bando. That means abandoned building. As Carlton stated, everybody in there was a squatter. That means somebody who was just living in a building and not paying rent. This is very, very, very common up here. It sure is. The gangs take over abandoned buildings and use them to sell drugs out of. They also charge rent for the apartments to drug users and illegal immigrants. That's exactly what I said. when I did my video, and now Brian's backing it up. Normally, these buildings don't have electricity or running water and are not suitable for occupation at all. They'll use generators or steal electricity from a nearby building running a 50-foot extension cord. The cops normally just leave them alone because they don't want to bother with it. That's what I said. So are we to just ignore this? Here are eyewitnesses and one from my own esteemed subscribers who is right there on the ground. But no, we would rather complain about the police and stand up for the trap house, this condemned building, and worry about how the people, the residents who shouldn't have been there in the first place, had to be hauled out of the building and detained temporarily. You know, a lot of them could have been arrested for drug use, okay? Because it is illegal to use illicit drugs and to be caught with those drugs. And so when they raid this building, what are they supposed to do? How else are they going to put an end to this? And since the city won't do anything about it, what do you expect is going to happen when they let something like this run as long as they do? Post your comments. Tell me what you think about that and what you think about Brian's message. Thank you, Brian, for chiming in on that. Okay. Let's go to the next topic here. What's the next topic? Last one, and then we're done. Okay, so this is interesting. Chicago would rather abandon our own black community, the people in need, and give all the money to illegals. I'm going to show you a quick little video here, and then we're going to be done. I want you to see this. This is rather shocking. Tell me what you think of this. Okay, let's play a little of this, and then we'll react.
We are over here on 22nd and Surmat and Clark.
Oh, there ain't no kids over there.
And when the problem I have, have y'all received any help from the city or tried to get any help from the city?
Housing and all that.
They promised housing?
Yeah, they promised housing, but they don't tell me.
I ain't got it yet.
They don't, you said they promised housing, but
Yeah.
I ain't got it
apartments
yet.
and everything, but
Nobody
gave none yet.
everybody gave
Girl,
them yet.
girl,
Is it any way I can talk? She said, like she said, she ain't no animal.
yeah,
The
the housing budget meeting is next week. I'm gonna come get Miss Bennett, and I go to City Hall every day. Huh? Yeah, I want you like to come too. Will you come? We have to get on that bike. You get 3 minutes, and you let them know that y'all need housing, so we can post that on. So let the people know they got the same money. You want the migrant package. The package that they just gave them, you want it too.
Since they paid.
We're not going to continue to do this, especially at y'all age. It's not the age that y'all should be out here.
Yeah.
I'm tired. It's a disrespect. They're not going to continue to say that the man that's in the office, he's inhumane when these people at City Hall is inhumane.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about that? That's sad, man. Look at these people. So they're living under this overpass here, this little homeless encampment, and basically Chicago Flips Red are saying, okay, so Brandon the Jackass Johnson gave $600 million for illegals. What did they get? They got room and board, $1,500 a month. They got to start illegal restaurants, vending on the streets. They were given driver's licenses even though they don't know how to drive. They had heat, they had air conditioning, they had beds, they had everything they needed. They rolled out the red carpet. But now you got black people living under the overpass and they refuse to give them anything. Where are the shelters for the black people, the homeless population in Chicago? What's the deal? Why are they not helping them? Well, I'll tell you why he's not helping. It's because they already live there. You don't get any more votes out of the homeless black population, but you can spend $600 million of money that the city doesn't have when they have a $1.2 billion deficit when you import a bunch of illegals because you want to turn them into a voting population. And even if they don't vote, if you load up millions and millions of new illegals, well, then you can get more representatives in the Congress of the U.S., right, that will vote for Democratic policies. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So he just ran the city into the ground, rolling out the red carpet, spending $600 million on illegals while ignoring the black population. So what's up, black Democrats? Are y'all okay with that? You know, we used to do all these videos about Tiffany Henyard. At least she would feed the people. At least she was feeding black people. She wasn't supporting illegal immigrants. I can give her that. Even though she blew through millions of dollars and took the poor village of Dalton into the hole, into a horrible deficit, she was at least blowing that money on black people, you know, serving up rotten food and whatnot, and having bingo night and giving away TVs and free strawberry cake to black people. Yay! But y'all want to vote for people like Brandon Johnson. You wanted to vote for Joe Biden, and then they sit around and completely ignore the black community. And this is not saying, okay, support Donald Trump. I'm not saying that. But at least Republicans will ignore everyone and not spend your money to support illegals. So why do you continue to vote people like this into office, black community? What are you doing it for? I don't know what the heck the problem is or what the deal is, but it just makes me mad. So you add that to the fact that we got all these people crying and whining and complaining because they're not going to get their SNAP benefits. All right, so they spend money on illegals, $600 million, and then your SNAP benefits are about to get cut off, but you want to keep on voting for these idiots. I'm so done. That's all I got for this one. I got to go. See ya.